Some children grow up with toys, others grow up with radar. If you can feel a shift in a room before anyone speaks, if you change versions of yourself without thinking, if rest feels unsafe and emotions feel distant, that wasn't random, that was training. Growing up with a narcissistic parent doesn't just create difficult memories, it reshapes how you think, how you adapt, how you survive. Most people learn to trust their feelings. You learn to study them, control them, hide them. And now you move through the world with abilities that feel heavy, sometimes isolating. Today, we're going to look at 4 traits many survivors quietly carry. They can feel like curses, but in the right light, they are strengths that were forged under pressure. Imagine being 5 years old. You walk into the kitchen and instantly know what kind of day it is. No one tells you, you just know. The silence feels different. The way dishes are set down sounds sharper. Shoulders look tighter. So you learn to read microsignals, tone shifts, breathing patterns, because missing them had consequences. This is hyperattunement. You don't just hear words, you hear tension behind them. You notice the half-second pause, the forced smile, the subtle withdrawal. Most people take others at face value. You don't. You see manipulation early. You sense insincerity quickly. You recognize emotional danger before it escalates. You're rarely fooled twice. Your nervous system rarely turns off. Even in safe rooms, part of you scans for threat. It's like living with a smoke alarm that reacts to steam. But here's the shift. You develop this skill in chaos. Now you can use it with discernment. Not every room needs to be analyzed. Not every silence is a warning. Your awareness is powerful. It just doesn't have to be permanent. Who are you when no one is watching? If that question feels complicated, this might be why. When authenticity felt unsafe, adaptation became survival. You learned which version of you kept the peace. Small, quiet, perfect, unbothered. At school, maybe you were funny. With friends, agreeable. At home, invisible. You didn't become fake, you became flexible. You learned to read expectations and meet them before they were spoken. You adapt quickly, you build rapport easily. You can walk into unfamiliar spaces and belong. That is social intelligence. You may struggle to locate a stable sense of self. When you've performed for years, stillness feels unfamiliar. But here's the truth. The real you isn't lost. It's the version that shows up when you stop adjusting, the one with preferences, emotions that don't shift to please the room, and the people meant for you will not require a performance. They will recognize you without the mask. When was the last time you rested without guilt? Not distracted, not multitasking, just resting. For many survivors, productivity became protection. Failure wasn't just disappointing, it was dangerous. So you became competent, reliable, self-sufficient. You finish what you start. You handle pressure calmly. You push through exhaustion. People call you strong. What they don't see is the fear underneath. If I stop, will I still be enough? Resilience, discipline, high tolerance for stress. You don't crumble easily. You rarely feel safe doing nothing. Joy feels indulgent. Rest feels earned, never given. But surviving and living are not the same thing. You don't have to prove your worth through exhaustion. You are not valuable because you produce. You are valuable because you exist. And learning to rest without guilt may be the most radical thing you ever do. When you were sad, were you told you were dramatic? When you were angry, were you told you were disrespectful? When you were excited, were you told to calm down? If emotions were treated as inconveniences, you learned to store them, lock them, minimize them, doubt them. Now, as an adult, something hurts and you question yourself first. Someone loves you and you wait for the condition. Something good happens and you brace for impact. You learned that feelings were unsafe. So you became composed. You stay steady in crisis. You don't panic easily. Others lean on you. You may feel disconnected from your own inner world, but emotions are not flaws to manage. They are signals. Being sad doesn't make you weak. Being angry doesn't make you bad. Being sensitive doesn't make you broken. You were not too much. You were expressing what no one around you could handle. There is nothing wrong with your depth. The mind reader, the shapeshifter, the always-on machine, the emotional vault. These were survival adaptations. They helped you navigate instability. And they worked. You're still here. Now the question is different. Not how do I survive, but how do I live? You can keep these traits on autopilot, or you can begin choosing when to use them. Awareness without hypervigilance, adaptivity without self-erasure, ambition without burnout, composure without emotional exile. You are not damaged, you are trained, and training can be refined. If this felt familiar, stay with this channel. We explore the quiet patterns that shape us and how to reshape them. You survived something difficult. Now you get to learn something new, how to be yourself safely. I'll see you in the next one.